Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. This is now episode 11 and you rejoin us here on Route 206, fresh from our excursions into the Grand Underground. Without further ado, we'll crack straight on and get into it. So this route is essentially the cycling path. You'll be continually pushed to move down the route the whole time, and there are several trainers on the route for you to battle. The first one there was called Cyclist Axel. He uses a Staravia, level 17. The second trainer here is Cyclist Megan. She uses a Shinx, level 17. And this here is Cyclist James, who uses a Ponyta, level 17. There'll be a lot of this skipping over trainers, as many of the trainers here don't actually use anything new. It's the same things that we've seen before with fairly weak levels, so it's not worth me even showing you going through this. So that trainer there is Cyclist Nicole, who uses a Starly level 15 and a Ponyta level 15, and Cyclist John, who uses a Starly and a Staravia, both level 15. Proceeding south then, we face off with Cyclist Ryan, who uses a Zubat level 17. Just here is Cyclist Rachel, who uses two Shinx of level 15. And then just here, we finally face off against something new. There had to be something worth it at the end of all of that. And this is Cyclist Kayla. And she gives us our first ever encounter with the fan favourite, Pikachu. Obviously my team's not perfectly set up for this battle here with Manaphy being out, but I think I'm probably strong enough to take it out before it takes me out. Yeah, I'll take 2 shots. Provided I don't get paralysed here, which I believe Nuzzle does do. Yeah. But if we can get through the paralysis, we should be fine, as Pikachu didn't do a huge amount of damage there. There we go, and this will take it out. But yeah, that's our first time encountering a Pikachu. So that's good to see. And it keeps you up to date with the level of our current team. Manaphy 22, Monferno 28, Budgew's now up to 18, Luxio's 26, Staravia is 27, and Kadabra is 25. So now we've done that, we can come off the cycling path, but there is actually more to see on this route than just the cycling. If you come through this little doorway here, if you speak to this lady, she'll give you a few more stickers for your ball capsule, and then you'll find yourself on the southern part of Route 206. So just to the west here there are 2 berry trees, both of which contain raspberries. Raspberries don't have any use in this game, they're only for making poffins with, which we haven't explored as of yet. Once you've picked those up, you can then head over to the eastern side of this route, where there are 2 trees you can cut down, and you can then enter the part of the route underneath the cycling path. And there are several Pokemon you can find here. If you're playing on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, you can find one of your exclusives here. Hopefully we'll find it pretty quickly, but I'll get to that when we come to it. So just off to the right there, if you cut through the tree, you can find a hidden full heal. Coming further north, there is a honey tree which you can slather and come back to and see what's around. So yeah, we'll slather the honey on there and then carry on moving on. Continuing north, there is an item just up here through the grass, which is a burn heal. And then we're going to get our first encounter, and this one is with a Ponyta. So obviously we've already seen a Ponyta, which you can encounter on Route 211, I believe it was, next to Eterna City. If you haven't visited there yet, then now is a good chance to pick one up if you wanted to. If you head just to the west, you can get underneath the cycling path up to this little berry patch, which contains 4 Rawst berries. Rawst berries are used for healing burns. Just south of that, if you keep coming down here and then you head under the bridge, you'll see there is an item here, and this is a super repel. Now we've seen that, we can head back to the north and try and get the item that's just above the 2 berry trees. Or where the 2 berry trees were anyway. First off, there is this hiker here. This hiker is called Hiker Theodore, and he uses 2 onyx, both level 15. And here we are. So I mentioned that there was a new Pokemon available here, which was exclusive to Pokemon Diamond. That is this Pokemon here. So this is Stunky. If you remember back to the Galactic Warehouse, the Galactic Commander Jupiter used a Pokemon called Skuntank. That is the evolved form of Stunky. So Stunky is a poison and dark type, exactly the same as Skuntank. There are a couple of other Pokemon that are available on this route, which we've seen before, which are Geodude, the aforementioned Ponyta. You can encounter Qriketoons, but only in the morning, and then also Zubat, but only in the evening. Along with those, there are 2 additional new Pokemon we have not encountered before available on this route. One is Qriketoon, which is the evolved form of Qriketoon, so hopefully we'll run into one of those in a bit. And then there is also Bronzor. So Bronzor is a Steel type Pokemon. I believe it's Steel and Psychic type, which evolves into Bronzong. So yeah, half decent Pokemon. Not particularly, it's not going to tear up any trees, but it's decent. So the Pokédex entry for Stunky, now we've caught that, says it protects itself by spraying a noxious fluid from its rear. The smell lingers for 24 hours. So essentially it's just a skunk. So heading round, there's just another Ponyta. Again, nothing new. If you're looking to pick up all the new Pokemon in this area, I'd recommend picking up the Qriketoon just to have it in your Pokédex. But if you're looking for Bronzor, there's no need to run around in this grass looking for it, as the next area has them in a much more common way. So in the northwest side of this route, you did see that I found the poison barb, and then right at the north of the route you saw the cave entrance. That cave entrance is to Wayward Cave, which is where we'll be exploring next once we have caught this Qriketoon, which is the last Pokemon on this route that I need to fill my Pokédex, so I will be catching it for now. Causing me quite a bit of hassle at the minute, which was unexpected. Thankfully it's not very strong, so it's not going to keep causing hassle for very long. It's not going to do much damage to my team. And there we go, it's caught. So, the Pokédex entry for Qriketoon. It crosses its knife-like arms in front of its chest when it cries. It can compose melodies ad-lib. So now we've caught everything that's here, other than Bronzor, we will proceed north and into Wayward Cave. Once we've got away from this Ponyta, that is. So yeah, through the cave entrance, you find yourself in Wayward Cave. Now this cave is extremely dark, so you will need a Pokemon to know the TM of Flash in order to be able to see where you're going. In my case, I'm going to teach this to my Kadabra for now, as it has a couple of moves that I basically won't use. So I'll give this to Kadabra now. I think I will use Recover, so I'm going to get rid of Teleport. Actually no, I'll get rid of Psycho Cut, as Psycho Cut is a physical-based attack, and as Kadabra is high in special attack but extremely low in physical attack, there's no point keeping Psycho Cut. So using Flash, there we go, you can see the darkness is cleared and we can now see where we are going. So there's a little bit of a maze around here, and you have to bear with me as there will be quite a few wild encounters, which there's not a lot of point me speaking over. But the only new Pokemon available in here is Bronzor, which we will catch when we eventually come across it. It's fairly common, has a 40% chance of encounter. So we'll just run away from everything else. There are quite a few items in here. We won't be able to explore the entirety of Wayward Cave, but we should be able to do the majority. We won't be able to access the basement part of Wayward Cave, which you need strength to access later on. Once we have strength, we will return, as there is a new Pokemon you can find in the basement, but I'm not going to give away what that is just yet. So there are quite a few trainers around here, and a lot of rocks to smash. All the trainers will be double battles, so I will be playing through those. The reason for it being double battles is there is actually a companion you can find at the back of Wayward Cave, which we will eventually get to. But I think the point is you're meant to get to the back on your own, and then come through back through Wayward Cave with your companion. And the companion works the same way as Cheryl, in that she heals your team after every encounter, so I'd probably recommend doing it that way rather than the way I'm doing here, where I'm going to battle most of them before I go and find the companion. So we have here finally found a Bronzor, which we're going to look to try and catch. These can be a bit of a pain, as they do know Confuse Ray, which as you can see is done here, which is quite annoying actually. So annoyingly, Bronzor is used Imprison, which has got rid of the move Confusion for my Kadabra. So I can't continue weakening this Bronzor, so I'm going to have to switch out. Didn't really predict it being this much of a hassle. And there we go, Bronzor is finally caught. A little bit of XP from that, not very much. And Bronzor's Pokedex entry. Implements shaped like Bronzor were discovered in ancient tombs. It is unknown whether they are related. So we're not going to be using Bronzor, so we'll just send it straight to our box. And now we'll run away from any trainer battles we experience in the meantime, which will happen fairly frequently, so you'll have to bear with me. So there are many trainer battles available in this cave. The first one we've found here is Lass Cassidy and Youngster Wayne. So these guys use some slightly different Pokemon to what we've seen before. I believe we've met Baneri before, but I'm not 100% sure. We've definitely met Bidoof before. But they also use, Youngster Wayne also uses a Zubat, and then he'll give us our first experience with an Apom. So here we go, it's the last Pokemon, and it's one we haven't seen before, which is Apom. These are pretty rare to try and find and catch, I believe. I think they can only be found in the honey trees. I'm not sure if they appear in the ground underground as of yet, but I think they may be like Heracross, and they can only be found on the honey trees, which makes them pretty rare. Yeah, that's then these two defeated. And we can now proceed to see what the item is just below them. So we'll Rock Smash through this. And the item available here is TM32 for Double Team. So what Double Team does is it raises your evasiveness, which makes it more likely that the opponent's moves will miss. So proceeding back through the cave, we'll smash this rock and go the only route we can, which is south, and we find these two hikers, which is Hiker Reginald and Hiker Lorenzo. These guys don't use anything particularly special. They're using a Geodude, a Machop, and an Onix. The Geodude and Machop are both level 15, and the Onix is level 17. So, continuing back through the cave, you will continue to find a lot of these wild Pokemon battles, which, if you don't want to face them, is extremely frustrating. I'd recommend doing what I haven't done here, which is stocking up on repels, as what you can do is you can use your repel to ward off Pokemon for a certain amount of time. I don't have many in my bag, so I'll probably use them a little bit later on. Actually, I'll see if I've got any now, and I'll use them now. How many have I got? So I've got 2 repels, and that's it. So yeah, I'll use those for now, just to try and speed this up somewhat. So continuing to check out these westmost paths, if I go down here, I'll find 2 more campers slash picnickers. They are Picnicker Tori and Camper Diego. They use the evolution trails of Wurmple, so they have a Silcoon, a Cascoon, a Beautifly, and a Dustox. Silcoon and Cascoon are level 15. Silcoon and Beautifly are level 15, Cascoon is level 13, and Dustox is level 17. However, they're definitely worth battling, as just south of them is a rare candy, which is an item we picked our first one of last episode, I believe. And you can use it to level your Pokemon up by 1. This can be useful if you're trying to get a Pokemon to evolve, or if you're in the very late stage of the game, because it can really help when it takes a lot of XP to get between levels, say when you're up around the level 90s. So now I've started heading off back towards the east. We've checked out all the westmost paths. Heading back towards the east, we find these two trainers here, who are Picnicker Anna and Camper Parker. They use a Meditite level 17, then a Buizel and Shinx, both level 15. I believe there's meant to be a hidden item around here somewhere. There it is. There's a burn heal just inside this rock. So yeah, might as well pick that up. It's very well hidden, and as I don't have the dowsing machine right now, I can't find everything that's available, but I should be able to find most. Now I've run out of repels, I'm starting to run into wild Pokemon again, so apologies for that. We will continue to run away from these. So I don't think there's any more hidden items around here, but I'll have a quick check just in case. Yeah, no, nothing that I can see currently. So anyway, moving on. We'll continue going back round these round to the east rather. Smashing through this rock. We continue through here. We should eventually find the next path. These wild battles are getting a bit out of hand here. I definitely should have stocked up on repels. I'm going to see if I've got anything else. That's why I have one more super repel that I can try and use. So that should give us a little bit of spare time anyway. Still just trying to keep on the lookout for hidden items, but there's nothing I can see. So now we're on the easternmost path, heading up round to the north. If we come along here, we do eventually find the companion who are available to travel with. If you wish to avoid all the battles and then do all the double battles with trainers on the way back out with Myra, all you have to do is continue following the paths which don't have trainers on, so never go down any of the ones with trainers on, and you will eventually find your way to Myra. So there are pros and cons to this. The benefit to this is that after every battle, she will fully heal your team and any status ailments. The con to this, however, is that she uses a Kadabra level 18, which is fairly weak, so she won't be expected to do a lot of damage, so it'll probably mean that you're in battles for a lot longer. So anyway, just south of Myra, we did face off against two trainers, which was Collector Terry and Rune Maniac Gerald. Collector Terry uses 3 Gazly, level 12, 13 and 17, and Rune Maniac Gerald uses a Geodude, level 15 and Bronzor, level 17. They're not the strongest, but they're probably worth battling against anyway, just so you can pick up the tiny mushroom available just underneath them. Now, this is where Myra can get quite frustrating, as she does get in the way quite a lot if you're trying to squeeze through these tiny gaps, which isn't ideal when every 2 seconds you're facing off against more and more wild Pokemon. And in addition to this, you have to lead her to the exit. You can't just use an escape rope to get yourself back to the exit. Which means that you're just going to face off continually against wild Pokemon. So you have to bear with me on the way out, I'm afraid, as we will be facing off against a lot of wild Pokemon. the number of wild Pokemon you do face does, quite frankly, get ridiculous, but we are eventually at the end. And so here, Myra says that the way out was much tougher than she was expecting, however gives us her thanks. She doesn't actually give us a reward for this either. If I remember rightly, there actually isn't any reward at all for doing this. In Pokemon Platinum, she used to appear in the Battle Frontier as one of the partners, but in Diamond and Pearl, there was no kind of benefit to doing this, so don't feel like you have to come here and do this. It's just something fun to do, and I thought I'd show you everything that's currently available on this route. So now we've done that, we can now head out of Route 206 and on to Route 207 once we've got through the hordes of wild Pokemon that seem to be swamping us. So cutting our way back out, we can now exit Route 206 and enter Route 207. Upon going into Route 207, we will meet Dawn, who says she has a gift for us and asks us to choose whether we want the gift in her left or right hand. Now it doesn't matter which one you choose, as you will get both items anyway. So in this case, I get the VS Seeker, which is an item that you can use around trainers to find trainers who want to rematch you. So it means you can battle trainers all over again. She also updates our Pokétch with an app called the Dowsing Machine. So the Dowsing Machine is a useful app which, if you ping, will tell you where hidden items are on the floor, so invisible items. I may not use it too much on this playthrough as it can be quite distracting, but I'll show you what it does in the meantime. So it's this app here. You can see if I click it, there is an item that's invisible down and to my right. So now I've headed down to my right. I can use it again. Oh, didn't mean to click that. Let's find me up again. You can see if I click it now. So I can't see it now, so I must have ran past it. If I click further off to the left, I can see where it is. Ah, so yeah, we go. It's just up to our left. And it looks like it said it was 3 squares up and 3 squares across from us. So yeah, it's just here. There we go, there was a hidden revive just on the floor. So if you're exploring around, it could be worth pinging the Dowsing Machine every now and again, just to see if there's anything new available. Okay, so just to the east of where Dawn gave us the 2 items, there is a honey tree, which you can slather with honey. And to the west, there is 4 berry trees, which contains 2 oran berries, 2 cherry berries, 4 oran berries, 2 cherry berries, and 2 bluck berries, which are all berries we've found previously. Let's close this Pokétch. So you might recognise this route, actually, Route 207. It was a route that we first saw from that lower area when we were in Auberg City. So we will check out here the eastern side of Route 207 before we move before we go back, to Auberg City, as there's something I'd like to look at down there. First off, there's these 2 trainers who are Camper Anthony and Picnicker Lauren. They use a Ponyta level 19 and a Pachirisu level 19. Just to the east of them, between these 2 bollards, there is a Super Potion. And then just past that, there is another trainer. This trainer uses a Geodude level 16 and a Bronzor level 18. And then just to the east of him is another entrance to Mount Coronet, which is a different area of Mount Coronet to the one that we experienced in the previous episode. So heading back around this way, there is another area of Route 207 we can access. First up, there's this trainer here, who is youngster Austin. He uses one Pokemon we haven't actually seen in battle, I believe, so far. So to begin with, he uses a Starly level 15 and a Geodude level 15, which obviously we've seen a million times before. But after that, he actually uses a Chimchar level 18. So if you didn't start your Pokedex by getting Chimchar, you probably haven't seen one of these yet, other than with your rival. So you might be worth battling him just to make sure that's seen. If it's with Dawn, if you chose Piplup, I don't think you'll have it in the Pokedex yet. So definitely come over here and battle youngster Austin. So there we go, that's youngster Austin defeated. Proceeding on then, just up round these stairs, there is another trainer. This is hiker Kevin, who uses three Geodude, one level 15, two level 16, and a Zubat level 17. Around near him, just at the edge of this ledge, as you can see on my dowsing machine, there is a hidden item, which is another rare candy. So we're starting to get quite a few of these, which is definitely useful. And then just across the bridge to the south of him is a dire hit, which is not hidden, it's just sitting there in its Pokeball. Continuing round, there's one last trainer here to face, which is Battle Girl Helen. She uses a Meditite level 18 and a Machop level 18. You'll see just below us there is one more item, however we're currently unable to get that until we get the hidden machine for Rock Climb. So just having a ping around to see if there's anything more hidden, but I don't believe there is. So I think that's us done with Route 207, and the next place to go is through Mount Coronet. Though for now we're actually going to show you a couple of things we can do now we have the bike. So we can now go down those little ledges and we can re-access Auberg City. If you come into Auberg City and speak to this man here, he will reanimate your fossils and turn them into Pokemon. In a prior episode, we found the skull fossil whilst digging in the Grand Underground, so we can now get that reanimated. If you speak to him and then if you leave the building and come back, he will have then reanimated it into a Pokemon. So there we go, our skull fossil has now been turned into a Cranidos. So Cranidos' Pokedex entry is, it lived in jungles around 100 million years ago. Its skull is as hard as iron. So Cranidos was the Pokemon that the Auberg City gym leader had as his main boss Pokemon. Now that that's done, there is one other place we can access, which we saw in a previous episode. If you come up around here and access the Auberg Gate, you can come back to the previous basement area we've been in. And moving around here to the bit we've previously accessed. So down in the basement, if you head to the west, there are some little jumps which we haven't been over before, of course, as we didn't have the bike. So the little lady here with her bike, she tells you that that's how to access the ledges. So once we've finished encountering wild Pokemon, you can use the bike to jump the ledges. If you jump over in the third gear, so the slower gear, you will bounce over 2 spaces. If you're in the fourth gear, so the faster gear, you can bounce over 3 spaces. So make sure you stay aware of that whenever you're using the bike to try and jump over these little ledges. So there we go. Now we've jumped those 2 ledges, we can go up here and pick up the item available. And this is TM31, which is Brick Break. Brick Break is a fairly strong fighting type move that can be useful as it can break through moves such as Light Screen and Reflect. And yeah, so you can basically smash through the defences that your opponents put up. After that, that's all we can see in here, so we will use our escape rope to escape back outwards. And now we can head back onto Route 207 to explore Mount Coronet. I'm going to quickly go into the mart and pick up a couple of items as we're running a bit low on a couple of different items. We definitely need some super potions, so I'll pick those up and now we can head back. This is also going to be where we leave off this episode. It should be a fairly long episode, so I hope you've enjoyed what we've done so far and everything that we've shown. If you have enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe to see the rest of my Pokemon series as they come out. I'm uploading on a daily basis. Yeah, and I really hope you enjoy. I'll catch you in the next one.